Okay guys, I'm gonna see if I can do some installation of those sumo cushions by myself. So I set up the somebody asked me if I get stuck in the mud, where do I hook up the jack? And I came up with this this technique, and it might work. All right, so this is what I did. You hook up your hinge upside down, and then you hook up the tongue of the jack, the high lift, under that, and it fits snugly between the ball and the jack, and it just crank it. And I also bought this base, this plastic base, in case you're in soft ground. You know, if you're in sand or some mud or whatever, you don't want the base of the jack to be sinking. So I got that base also in there. And this is gonna be a long. Let me needle down here. And the idea is to get this thing high enough so I can get under there and do the work and separate that bump stop. Yeah, disconnect that rubber pad there. Oh, too soon. Okay, so, oh man, my I still can reach under there. Okay, so this is a 10 millimeter. Bring it up and see if I can hook up the little bolt. It's not picking it, it's not getting it. I've heard that this is a 10 millimeter, but it feels like it's something bigger. Yeah, the 10 millimeter is not doing it. So now I'm gonna have to go through my drawer and go through one by one and see what I can get. All right, later. Okay, so this thing got stuck in the other socket and I couldn't get it out with the extension or anything. I had to cut the rubber with a jigsaw and then with a knife, because this thing wasn't letting me bring it out. And then people were saying it was a 10 millimeter and it didn't find it. And then I tried the 12 millimeter and it didn't hook on it. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to, let me see if I can get this out. All right, here it comes. So this is a let me see, 11/16. I can't see in there. Well, I got I'm not sure if I have a mirror. This is the 12, which is a little, let me see. Actually, the 12 is bigger than the 7/16, so I'm not even going to try it. The 10 millimeter didn't catch for some reason. Okay, so I got the 10 millimeter socket here, and let's see if it actually feels like it's catching on something, because it feels like it's even smaller. No, it doesn't catch on anything. And I'm thinking, is it bigger or is it, if it's smaller I could feel it. It has to be bigger. I can't see in there. You know what, let me get my phone, do a video. Okay, let's see. Go to video, put it in there, see if I see anything. Oh, it's kind of dark. I really can't see anything in that dark hole, and I can't cut the rubber any closer. It's in the cup. It's already on the cup here. So, you know, I saw people removing these and they kept saying 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. Well, I got a 10 millimeter. And it doesn't hook up to nothing. And this is the only one that doesn't get stuck. So I feel there's something in there, but it is not a 10 millimeter. It doesn't catch, not at all. So if I go to the other one, the little bigger one, this is the one that got stuck, but I can get it out now. Not hooking. It's not hooking on to a socket, to a bolt. I took the truck to a tire place, and the guy told me he would do both for 80 bucks. So I might have to do that. I was just trying to save some money and get busy on this thing. But if it's gonna give me this difficulty to do a simple, bump stop removal, it's ridiculous. The other one, it's a slight bigger. Let me see. I know it's gonna get stuck. This one is a, let's back it up, see what we got. Nothing either, doesn't catch anything. So I guess I'm gonna have to take it to, I hate to pay for stuff that I can do. I mean, I already raised the truck with I got everything situated. I got all my tools, and now I can find a socket that fits into the freaking hole that hooks up to the bolt. Something so simple. And I'm limited on small. Well, actually, I got a millimeter socket set at the boat. I should have brought it. I thought about that, and I didn't bring it. Maybe I should go buy one, just a single one. See what I could do there before taking everything down. It's not about the money. It's about now I have to, remove everything and put everything away without getting nothing done. I hate that. Well, I just discovered something. I got a small 9 millimeter. I said, well, if it's not bigger, it's gotta be smaller, right? And I went in and I pushed it, and now the whole thing goes in to the end. And I even driving the whole handle. It looks like it's not bolted. It looks like it's popped in. So now, being that there's nothing to grab onto, I'm gonna have to get some screwdrivers and hammer it in there and kind of, break it out in pieces. But this is ridiculous. I mean, look at the look at this thing here. I put it in, and look at that, all the way in. There's not a bolt in there. Watch. That means it's going out to here, all the way to here. There's no bolt holding this rubber. It's supposed to be a bolt here, and there's nothing. So this is not bolted. I thought I would grab something, but I thought I felt that there was a bolt in there because I would hear the metal, but now I pushed in, so the metal is not there. That means I'm gonna have to get some different tools and possibly a knife. So I hope there's a thread in there, otherwise the other thing won't be able to put it in there. All right, guys. What a day. Later. Okay, finally popped it out, but I don't like what I see. There's a hole. This thing has no screw holding it. So it was just compressed in, but being that I had a hole, it's supposed to have a bolt. So now what I got is this with nothing in there. So now I gotta see if the bolt from the Sumo is gonna screw into that. I hope it does. So let me go get them. Well, I can tell you right now it's not gonna work, because this bolt is gonna go through this plate, and then the cushion will thread onto this, but there's no thread here. It comes with a nut. Okay, it's got a nut to tighten it from behind, I guess, but there's no way to get in there to put the nut in there. Son of a bitch, man. Why things get so complicated? Yeah, there's no openings that I can feel. I see many videos and they just thread this with the spacer in here with the flat part towards the back, right? Bolt it there. And then they come in with the Sumo and attach it to this plate. And it's simple, but it doesn't work here. So I'm gonna have to take this to, I'm gonna go to the tire shop and find out if he does any welding. They're gonna have to weld a bolt, a nut that can thread the Sumo. And then that's why I wasn't catching anything. There's nothing to catch. There's no head of a bolt. So these rubber stops, they go in by pressure. They pop in, and believe me, it took some doing to pop it out because it's got lips all the way around that catches on this groove right here. So Jack, I see that here that it's understandable. Why isn't that? I mean, GM couldn't be that cheap to say, oh, let's save a nut and let's not install one there. So I don't have any welding equipment or anything. And if I take it to, I know a muffler shop that might do it, but I gotta go talk to them first before I move the truck and do anything. So maybe that maybe they can weld this bolt in there, because the only way that it's gonna work. Yep. It gotta be welded really nice, really tight in there. All right, guys. I'm gonna let go here because I gotta pick up all this stuff here. So 2012 is not here. Okay, that there's a little bolt right there, number F, letter F. That goes inside the pocket, that opening on the side, or the bracket there on the chassis, and then it bolts to the screw, the whole thing. So you tighten it, boom, 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 and you got it. Can't do it on mine because mine is completely closed from all sides and there's no thread in the middle. So the only solution is either return it and see if they can find, there must be an insert that you can pound in there and it'll tighten it up, or take it to a welder and see if they can weld the bolt and then do the rest of the installation. But this is ridiculous, you know. I've worked very hard to get to the mount out, push it out, and then finally there's nowhere to bolt. So my project stopped right here. I can still drive it because it's not really touching. It's not going to touch. It has never touched. But I don't want to drive it like that. I just drive it to a shop that we can do the welding. So I got to go to a muffler shop and see if they want to do the work. Problem is that this is a heavy truck. They don't want to lift it, and it's going to be more difficult getting under there. Everything is more difficult. So, all right. So let's bring this down. I think I should grease this up a little bit here. Okay, this is lithium grease. Yeah. All right. Let's see if it does a little bit better. Oh yeah, look at that. Let it penetrate. All right. I want to let that sit like that for a while. I already picked up all the tools. The socket wasn't inside that that bracket. It was outside. It rolled down and I didn't notice. I found it on the outside, so I picked it up with the magnet, and man, I'm telling you. So I left a message to the shop, see if he does any welding work. I don't want to drive around with the truck. I want to go straight to whoever's going to do it and let him do it. What a wasted day. Worked pretty hard to get that piece of rubber out. Turns out there's nothing to connect to. All right. So let's see what happens. Okay, so now I wanted to celebrate with a drink. I'm not going to celebrate because I got nothing done. I got done finding out what happened. There's nothing to attach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke this Havoc. It's been in the humidor for a couple of days, and it's a little better. It's not crackly like it was the other day. So, um, I got kind of a semi good news. Wow, this thing draws very nicely. I took the truck out. I started the truck this morning, and I said, well, I'm going to do a video on the shocks and the rubber stop and all that before changing to the Sumos, and then do a before and after, right? So I did some driving around, but before I did the driving around, I'm looking at the dash and the check engine light is not there, and I'm going, whoa, what happened? And then the vibration was still there, but very light compared to a couple of days ago. I like this. So, anyways, I said, okay, let's drive it. Let's drive it. Maybe I hope it won't come back. So I took it to a few places. Got on the freeway and hit it. You know, got it up at 70, 76 or so miles for 78 miles an hour. Didn't get to 80. Um, the truck feels a little sluggish. I don't know if because of the weight or the tranny needs a cleansing, and I think it's the tranny. And I think I have a jar here of detergent. Anyways, drove it and drove it and drove it, and the signal, came back here, backed it in, got it ready to, separate it from the wall, got it ready to work on those Sumos, and the engine, the signal didn't come back. So I said, okay, maybe maybe there was an injector that was dirty, and the between the Lucas cleaner and the seafoam, because I put 4 ounces of seafoam in around 7.5 gallons that I had left. So it's a lot of concentrated cleaner and less gas. Maybe that did it, right? So when I backed it in here, I left it running for another minute or so, and the signal didn't come back, but the vibration didn't go away completely. It was almost going away, but it wasn't away. So I said, okay, let me get my scanner. I hooked it in, and sure enough, it gave me misfire, PO300. But before, it gave me 1, 2, and 3, saying the same thing. Now it's only 1. So I don't know 1, 2, and 3 means. Does it mean 3 injectors, or does it mean the signal is triple? I don't know. But it went down to 1, but it still says PO300. So, but the check engine line hasn't come on. So that's a plus. I was gonna give the news to the shop, but I said nah, because I'm still getting the PO 300. We're still not out of the woods. I want to make sure that I'll drive it some more, and next week I'll take it over there so they can do a final checkup. Because if I say, hey, the check engine light signal went away and it's vibrating a little bit, they're gonna say, okay, good, just drive it like that until it clears up. No, I can't take a trip with a PO 300 on it because something else could go wrong and get worse. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know if I should return those Sumos, and I don't know what else they can send me because if there's no way to bolt it in there. I mean, this is a 2012, and the paper said from 1999 to 2007, and I put in the description, 2012 Chevy Silverado 4x4 3/4 ton, the whole thing, and it showed that, which they look alike. The other ones look the same as this one, so I don't know if I should return it or see if I can bolt, because there's nothing else you can attach to there. You still have to weld a nut so the bolt can hang on to it. So when I put in the little socket and I kept hearing the king, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm hitting the head of the bolt. It has to be a bolt there. And I kept trying different sizes and everything. It wasn't grabbing. What I was doing, I was touching the edge of the opening and hitting it, but it wasn't grabbing anything. So it didn't occur to me that there wouldn't be anything in there. I'll come up with a solution. Well, the Havoc so far, good aroma. Very good aroma. Not as good as the other ones. The Toro. The Gordo was a little light, but the Toro has got a very strong aroma. And this one hasn't bitten. There's no bite in it. So it's a good wrap. One single little thin vein. Good quality leaf. And it's not dry anymore. Is the way it's supposed to be. You can squeeze it, gets a little spongy, but not too much. So I'm impressed. I'm not give it a qualification just now because this is my first and only Havoc. I gotta smoke a few and see how it goes. But Heavy Seas, I think you're a smoker. Try this one. I think you like it. And try the Cuban Legend. It's got an orange band on it. It's a little thicker diameter, just a tad, and it has a very good aroma too. When you're burning, you can smell it. So yeah, now I know what to do. Cut it, pop it, or maybe just let me see. I can wrap a strap on it a couple of times, hook it to my bumper on the Blazer, drive the truck forward, and nothing will go and pop out. There's nothing holding it. There's nothing at all holding it. Okay, guys, day 2. The plan is to pull the rubber cushion there out of the truck, and what I did is, because I'm not going to do what I did the last time. I spent 3 hours or more just trying to get to the thing out, thinking there was a bolt and there was nothing in it. Okay, so I strapped it to the Blazer underneath, ran through here, hooked it to the rubber, cranked it with a crank, and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of WD. Make it slippery. I don't know if this is gonna help, but it won't hurt. Okay, let's try it. Hey, that was easy. That was easy. All right, got it. There are more ways to skin a catfish. So we got it done. If I would have known that this thing had no molt in it, I would have done this yesterday. Spent the whole freaking day. Got an old sore. Look at this thing. And it came out in one piece. Okay. So now I talked to my friend, the mechanic. I found this mechanic that we've become friends, and I every time I go to the shop, I say, okay, drop what you're doing. You gotta do this for me right now. Drop. So anyways, the next step is to get the nut over here and weld it to that cup, and then I can install the rest of the sumos. There's another setup that I found. I was trying to look for it now, but I went through the internet for 45 minutes and I couldn't find it. But there's another set that is for the 3/4 ton that it brackets to the U-bolts that the springs are hanging on to the axle, and then it's like it's a two-part cushion. So you got a cup up here with a hole, and then on the bottom you have a cup with a little pyramid, and the pyramid goes in and out of the hole. But the problem with that, I think if you're going through mud, that hole could get packed with mud as the thing is pushing up and down. So I decided not to buy it. And another thing is that set costs $660, and I'm going, what? I said, listen, the cushion is not gonna take the weight of the whole truck. It's just to give it a little cushion when the truck bounces, and it has a camper. So I saw one guy that has a half-ton with a camper, same like mine, a pop-up, and he installed those. But in his truck is a newer truck. In his truck he had the thread, and he just went boom, put it in there, and he was done. So I wrote to him and asked him how the cushion's doing, but he hasn't answered me. It's been more than 3 weeks. Apparently he doesn't check his comment section. So okay, so that was easy, man. It took me longer to put the strap down to yank it out. All right, I'll see you on the next one.